Thanks for joining us today. I'm Gabe Garish, owner of Backwoods Pursuit, and today we're going to look at a couple of new Swagger Bipods that just came out in 2021 here. We've got the SEA12 and the SFR10. They're two new bipods in the shooter series from Swagger. We're going to go over the differences, some of the features, and what separates these two and which one might be best for you. As always, really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Put links to all that down in the description, as well as a link to our website, backwoodsPursuit.com. A ton of other gear reviews over there as well as here on the channel. Really appreciate you following along. Let's dive into this review. All right, to start off some of the basics here on these two new bipods. They are both mounted to your rifle via a Picatinny rail. Some rifles have them, some don't, but if your rifle does not, just has a sling stud, there's some conversion kits out there that are pretty economical and real easy to do that. So that's how these are going to attach. Now, one of the differences between these two is the SEA12 here is attached via an Allen head here, so it's not a quick release, whereas the SFR10 is a quick release, so it's just a flip of a lever that way. Makes it a little easier if you like to take your bipod on and off with a lot of frequency. That's one of the main differences there, but they are both Picatinny rail mounted. The other primary difference here, or one of the main differences, is the height that you get. The SEA12 here ranges from 9 to 12 inches, where the SFR10 is 6 to 10.5 inches. So if you need that little bit of extra height, the SEA12 might be a little better option for you. But both of these, as you'll see here, they have a little bit of flexibility that way because of the flex in the legs, which we'll go over here in a minute. Another one of the differences is the way that the legs store. So the SEA12 here, they're both a push button here that allows the legs to go into storage mode. And the SEA12 has one position for the legs. You push the button and that goes out to your standing position like that. Whereas on the SFR12 or SFR10 here, push button here, and you have a 45-degree locking angle as well. So if you want to go that way, or if you're that way, depending on how you have it mounted on the rifle, it'll enable you to do that. Or the standard 90-degree there, but you also have the 45 and the storage position. So you have more options as far as how you're going to use the SFR10 here. It gives you that flexibility, which is kind of nice depending on what type of shooting you like to do. Now, another one of the main differences is the weight. The SFR10 here comes in at 15.2 ounces. It's the heavier of the two. Typically, when you have that quick release, you do get a little bit extra weight, and then the spring adjustment here adds a little bit of extra weight there too. Whereas the SEA12 comes at 13.2 ounces. So you save a little bit of weight with the SEA12, even though you have a 9 to 12 inch height adjustment, so you have more height, but because you don't have the quick detach features, you save a little bit of weight on the SEA12. Now, both of them also feature their twist lock legs. So you have a twist lock there, and then you extend that out on both of those, and that gives you your max height on both of them, and similarly just close them off like that to go back down. Now, they both also have the removable rubber feet, so if you need to use that, you can go ahead and do that. The rubber feet do stay on there very well. Also, both of them feature that same functionality, twist lock style. So if you do elect to take the rubber foot off there, you can go ahead and unscrew this leg that comes with it, or this foot that comes with it, and you can replace it with something else if you have a different style that you really prefer. There's a ton of them out on the market, but that just screws in right to the bottom of the leg, so you can select what foot option is best for you and get set up however is going to work best for your shooting situation. So that's a nice flexibility and feature that you have with both of these options here. Now, one of the differences, like I mentioned earlier, with the legs here between the two is the way that they flex. The SEA12 is an overmold rubber covering over this flex joint, and as you can see, it really flexes in all the different directions if you want to use that. So the way that's functionally can be really nice is if you need to get a little bit lower than this allows you, you can go out like that with your rifle, or if you need to again get a little bit extra height there, you can bring them in together. If you need to bend it back like that, you can do that. Whereas it doesn't have the 45-degree angle in the leg position, but you can accomplish that with the flex in the legs like that. Now on the SFR10 here, You do have, like I mentioned, a 45-degree locking angle, but these have some springs on both sides here. Now there's an Allen head on the top, but these springs, the tension is adjustable, which is really nice. It allows you to utilize this in a number of different functions. So if you like a lot of flex in the leg, you can unscrew that. Either you'll put your finger on the top or grab the Allen bolt and unscrew that to your desired amount of tension, and allows you to flex like that. And it is a solid bolt in there, so you can see it moving when you're flexing. But it gives you some flex, not as much as the SEA12 though. And you can do a little bit of that, but it's definitely more stiff. Now, if you want very little flex, you can screw that and screw that into all the way to the compressed position, so that spring is basically locked into place, and it operates much like just a solid standard bipod with no flex in the legs. If you're using that, obviously you may find yourself using the 45-degree position on this more so if you need to adjust height, and it gives you that extra options, extra flexibility. Experiment what works best for you in those departments, but it does give you a lot of flexibility. Now, one of the things you want to consider on the SFR10 here is, of course, you have that flexibility with the spring adjustment there, but that's going to affect how the rifle reacts on recoil. So you experiment with that, see what works best for you. You're going to get more or less jump when you fire your rifle. And so you're going to see, depending on what your situation is, you may want that rock solid, so screwed all the way down in, or you may want that more loose. It just depends on what your situation is, what your platform is that you're shooting. So I've experienced varying degrees of that jump depending on how that was adjusted. So, but it is nice to be able to adjust that to your liking. So some cool options here from Swagger. We're going to be taking these out in the field more and using them through the course of the hunting season here, and then putting together some full articles on these. So make sure you check that out. Again, link in the description to the articles on these as soon as we get them done. We'll have some full in-field experience that those articles are going to be based on. So stick around and check that out over on the website. Again, the Swagger SFR10 and the Swagger SEA12, two new bipods that have some pretty cool features. Go check them out. So thanks for joining us here today. If you have any questions on either of these, drop them down in the comment section. Happy to help you out. Really appreciate it, and we will see you next time.